So one of the most important things in the golf swing is having a good impact position. We know that's what creates the good shots. It's the point of the swing where it matters the most. But I used to be terrible at it. I used to sound a lot like what a lot of you guys are struggling with, and that is having very level hips, unrotated. I used to have a lot of flip, lack of control of the club face. Sometimes I'd even come out my posture coming through the shot, despite practicing this area tons. But when I figured out what was the actual reason, an actual way to create a good impact position, which funnily enough has nothing to do with actually practicing your impact, I began to have a much better impact position. So what I was doing that created a terrible impact position was these few things. I would be at the top of my backswing like this. Really, really high arms. I used to think back in the day, years and years ago, that I needed to have the hands and arms really, really high. Having the hands higher in my mind back then created more power. Didn't at all. Really didn't. So what would happen from there is my body had to compensate for that. It had to move in a way to stop the club going out in front of me, because if I turn over the top. So what would happen? My hand path would drop down and my body had to prioritize that movement in a downswing rather than getting open in this nice impact position. So I had a lack of depth at the top of the backswing with my lead arm and my hands. There were two vertically going up. So also from there, I found it very hard to shallow the golf club. I had quite a steep shaft. Again, with a steep shaft, if I just turn and rotate and get into what looks like a good impact position with the body, I'm going to chop across the golf ball. I'm going to hit it terribly. Not what we want. So what did my body do? Again, it stalled out, which it was good at doing from having the hand path drop. So then again, I would be very level through the golf ball. And the main thing there, rotation. Both of those could not get me to rotate because it wouldn't result in a good shot whatsoever. Your body's always trying to hit the golf ball to your target. So if you ever see something or yourself doing what looks like a fault, think, is there a reason why that fault is happening? And most often it's because you're trying to hit the ball where you want to. And you doing the ideal move won't get that for you. Because again, if any of those I try to rotate, as I said, chop down across the golf ball. So none of those create a good impact position. And that's what a lot of you are doing out there when you're trying to get there. You're doing your preset rotation, which is a great drill, getting the reps in here, but then when you're going back to your normal shot, you're still extremely level to the golf ball, not getting the same position. So what I did, first and foremost, I got myself more depth. So I got myself a lot more depth at the top. So I had the hand a little bit more behind, which is deeper, and had the left arm a little bit more covering my shoulder blade. So then when I tried to rotate, the club would nicely be on path. So, okay, great, brilliant. So another thing I did, I worked on getting rid of that steeper shaft. Now, me getting deeper in that backswing did that a lot. It really helped me massively get rid of a lot of the steepness of my shaft. But I still had to train the shallow nature. So for me, for training the shallowness in my downswing, I started to separate my lower body and mid-torso and work on that a lot. And I mean, I worked on that a lot. In between every 3 balls, I would do a drill I'm going to show you, and I did it for years. So that helped me shallow the golf club. Better transition we have, the club will naturally want to shallow. So then, only then did I start to practice and try to get better rotation. So none of it was actually trying to get into a good impact position. It was trying to create the things, the ingredients you need in your swing to have a good impact. Okay, so drill number 1 I did was an avoidance drill for my lead arm. Now, how I did this, I didn't have this training aid back then. This is the swing plate with the extension pole attachment. I had a golf bag right opposite me with an alignment stick balancing out of it like this. And what I'd do, I would have the ball placed underneath it about halfway, and I'd have this so it's pretty much blocking my shoulder, my right shoulder, at about a hand's distance away. So if my arm went up too high, I was going to hit it. But I also made sure I was turning in the backswing to be able to have good natural depth. So I just essentially swung underneath it, and then boom, there we go. I developed good depth after a ton of repetitions, which was the one thing I needed to be able to create good club path. So lots and lots of this. Absolutely would recommend you guys to do the same. So the second drill I did is the favor of the channel, the thing that I don't think I go 2 videos without even talking about. And here it is, that is the resistance band up to an upright drill. I used to do so much of this, it was crazy. I overdid it, to be honest. I did too much of it for too long. So my old driving range I used to hit balls at when I was playing full-time practicing. This is before I was a professional, way before. They had huge pillars in between each bay. So this exact resistance band, well, I know some of you have the questions quite often, where do I get this resistance band? It's actually from an old training aid called the Power Hip Rotator that I don't think you can buy anymore. The training aid wasn't very good, but the resistance bands, you know, they're pretty good. So just have that, put it up to an upright, separate lower body and mid-torso. Because there's resistance here, I can't do anything with my upper body. It's training that lower body to move. Now, I did 5 of those minimum, 3 balls. 5 of them, hit another 3. Another 5, 3. I did that for the whole session with every single club. So it was like a workout to some extent, but that's what you need to do to be able to get something into your golf swing. So that was the second piece, which creates that good transition, which will help that club to shallow if it's not already shallow from doing this. The third bit now, okay. Rotation. So now we're in a spot where we can rotate. This might be a little bit down the line before you work on this bit, but if you were going to do all of these together, this is how you do it. So, like we said, 3 to 5 of those, 3 golf balls with this here. Now, I want you to do something crazy here. A lot of you are going to be like, that's not right. But trust me, it'll get you in a good impact position. So, as soon as you're coming down, about halfway in your downswing, I want you to do this with your head. Look down the target line. So I'm not saying coming out your posture like this. I'm just saying look down the target. Have a little peek of the target. See if you could see the driving range down there before you even hit the ball. It's a strange little experience doing that, seeing the range before you see a ball flying down it. But what that does, that starts rotating you more. So rotation creates this good impact position. So you can see as soon as I start to rotate, let's say just from this static position here, and I rotate, look at where I am now. I'm in this good impact position. You need to rotate. This is all to get your body to turn more. So better rotation we have, better impact position you will have also. So remember doing all those. Now I'm going to have a little look down the target just before I hit that shot. Let that head swivel. And we're going to see much, much better impact position from both down the line and front on. So really important there, because we're only doing this so you can rotate. For you golfers out there who aren't getting a good impact position, you're not rotating well enough. So, absolutely. Doing this is going to, one, get you out the mindset of getting into a good impact position. Because the way you get into a good impact position is forgetting about it. You need to have the good things in your swing to be able to just move through it. Remember, impact is a split moment in time. A lot of players are physically trying to hit this impact position, getting into that spot when this is just a moment in time you're swinging through the golf ball. Remember, the golf swing is a swing. So that's where we're not stopping at that ball, we're just having good movement patterns, just flowing through that shot, and you'll start to get in a much better impact position. So do this, you could do this as a little routine, brilliant, I would absolutely encourage that. 3 to 5 of those in between every shot. 5 I'd recommend. 3 balls, go back, have that little head swivel, just like your David Duval, for example. Gets better rotation. And you'll be absolutely on your way to having a better impact position and improving with it, just like I did. Now, I wish I had the video of my old swing. There is a video on my channel way back when, probably about a year and a half ago, where I talk about my swing now from where it was back in the day. So it is out there, but I think I deleted that video, the video of my swing, which was a very big mistake, very big mistake. But it's out there. Wish I had it to put in this video, but I don't. So absolutely, guys, if you want to get in a better impact position, follow this, and you're going to be able to do it.